Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to GBFC 2, the second channel of the George Benson Football Channel, for a brand new series that is going to be coming twice per week here on GBFC 2. It is England, the road to Euro 2021. It's a series where it is driven by you guys in the comments down below, where we're going to look forward to Premier League games. We're going to obviously take a look at Champions League games, see what England players are doing in their various clubs, and then if there is a player that you guys think deserves to be looked at, we're going to pick the player before the games start on a Saturday or a Sunday, and then we'll focus on how well that player did in terms of his chances or ability to get on the plane, even though we don't really need to get on the plane. The Euros is being scattered across Europe, but a lot of the games are in England this summer. And Gareth Southgate has got a plethora of quality young players and experienced players to choose from when it comes to making that squad for Euro 2021 this summer. There are a lot of questions that need to be asked. I think the centre-back pairing of Stones and Maguire is pretty much done. There's still the question about Nick Pope, Jordan Pickford. The right-back spot is incredibly competitive. The left-back spot is incredibly competitive. And then throughout the rest of the field, be it midfield or the attackers, it's also, you guessed it, incredibly competitive with this England side. So, for episode number 1 of England Road to Euro 2021, first thing, I'd love to ask you to hit the like button if you're excited for this series. See if we can, for the first time here on GBFC 2, if we can hit 1,000 likes, that would be absolutely wonderful. I've got a white shirt on. It's not an England shirt. I've actually got my Lampard shirt from the 2006 World Cup in the cupboard, but still a bit too soon for me to wear the Super Frank Lampard shirt. You know, it still hurts slightly considering what happened, but we're happy as Chelsea fans. But we move into starting with the goalkeeper. It's between Jordan Pickford and Nick Pope, in my opinion. I don't think Henderson has had as good of a season as he did last year at Sheffield United. If he'd have taken that great season he had at Sheffield United, filtered it into this year, then I think he would definitely be in contention. But Nick Pope is my choice as the England goalkeeper so far. I think what he's done for England and Burnley has been exceptional. I think England in qualifying for the Euros, we were very solid. Even the first 3 games of World Cup qualifying, we've looked very good. And I actually feel incredibly confident as an England fan with Nick Pope in goal. I think he's a good shot stopper, he's tidy with his feet, and distribution-wise, he sometimes gets rid of it early, very smart. Jordan Pickford, amazing when it comes to kicking the ball and throwing, but I feel as though he's just so prone to making a mistake on too many occasions, so Nick Pope gets the go-ahead. We move into the right-back position, and this is, without question, England's strongest position. You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, you've got Kyle Walker, you've got Kieran Trippier, you've got Reece James, and then if you want to even look further beyond that periphery, you've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka. There's so many other players even in the right-back position that England can choose from. As you guys probably expect, due to the fact I'm a Chelsea fan, I've gone with my bias here, and I will justify my reason as to why I've gone for Reece James in the England right-back spot. For me, I think he's the most well-rounded right-back that England have. I think if we go for experience, Kyle Walker is fantastic, and I'd actually say that Reece James just goes above Kyle Walker for me. Because I think Kyle Walker is not only very quick, but he's strong, he's experienced. But with Reece James, I think if he doesn't start, we're actually missing out on so many different elements of a game that can not only benefit the side throughout his individual play, but with the combinations that we could see from England as well. I think Reece James is not only incredibly strong, but game by game right now, in a Chelsea shirt, playing in a wing-back role, we can see how good he can be in the final third. We're all aware of how brilliant he is as a crosser of a football, and I just think moving forward, Southgate needs to be picking Reece James more because he's only developing, he's still incredibly young, incredibly strong, and he's becoming much smarter on the pitch as well. But Trippier, shout out to Big Trips for the goal he scored in the semi-final of the World Cup. Don't think I've ever celebrated a goal like I did that one. Kyle Walker, very close. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, I just don't think he's been good enough this season to even justify being starting in this England team, considering the quality of players that we've just mentioned. We move into the 2 centre-backs, who I think there is absolutely nobody else who could possibly be considered in this position than John Stones and Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire, at the beginning of the season, United fans are frustrated with him. I remember countless times watching Goldbridge over on the United stand saying how bad of a centre-half he thought Maguire was, with all of the mistakes he was making. But I think he's answered all of his critics this season. It was a dodgy start, but he's become absolutely key for Manchester United, be it in the Europa League team, in the fact that they're second in the Premier League now, looking odds on to finish in a Champions League spot. Harry Maguire, I think, has been absolutely fantastic. John Stones, what a player he's turned out to be for Manchester City this season. Ball-playing centre-half. Many questions were asked about him in recent years. He was looking a bit shaky. He was susceptible to making errors. But this year, in an incredible Man City team, tough defence to break down, he's been one of the mainstays. They bring in Ruben Dias from Portugal. And alongside him, John Stones' game has developed massively. He's come up with big goals. He scored at Old Trafford for City. And I think in terms of form, going into the Euros for England, a lot of what I believe, if I was Gareth Southgate, and this is why I wanted to make this series, because as an England fan, it is, for me, I'd love to see us, considering I've never seen us win a major competition in my lifetime. 1966, we won the World Cup. But I would love to see England just really going for it. And then if we get beaten in a semi-final again, like we did in the World Cup in Russia, then I'd be happy. But so often with England teams, we see the safe option being picked. We see Southgate, picking Henderson in the middle, despite maybe Declan Rice being in better form. I think Declan Rice is pretty much a guaranteed starter now, but I want to see England managers going for decisions that could actually see us as England fans being excited about the quality of football that we're playing on the field. And I think with both Stones and Maguire, they actually bring a bit of X factor to this England team. They can get forward and score goals. Stones with the ball at his feet is a fantastic footballer, and I think they're by far the best two in that position. We move into the left-back role, and I would love, after his goal against Porto, to put on the blue-tinted glasses again and put Ben Chilwell in there, but I just think, as an all-round left-back, Luke Shaw has been fantastic this season, and as of right now, I would put Luke Shaw in my team. In a later episode in this series, when we get closer to the end of the season, I will update this based off of the form that I was talking about. Before Southgate announces his squad, we will do another prediction as to what that 23-man squad's going to be, and I'll put it in a tier list for you guys. So Luke Shaw, Ben Chilwell, his form at the moment is getting him closer to Luke Shaw, but I just think at this moment in time, I'd be lying to myself if I didn't say Luke Shaw in this team. We move into a midfield three. My England formation is something along the lines of like a 4-1-2-3 or a 4-3-3, whichever way you want to look at it. It will be different depending on attacking or defending. But the midfield three that I've chosen, and it's not easy to do this, I've gone with Declan Rice, Phil Foden, and Mason Mount. When I look at that three, as an England fan, I get incredibly excited, not just for this Euros, because these three players, are game changers. They're players who are playing at a level of experience far beyond their age and their seniority right now. And I think that all three of them offer something phenomenal as a whole, which is energy in the England midfield. When you look it back and bring it back to the semi-final against Croatia in the World Cup, I was there in Moscow for that game. And I was sat there, and as soon as it got to about 70 minutes, I just lost all of my hope, because I feel as though the energy was just sapped, drained out of that England starting 11. And with these three, I feel as though matches in football could be 180 minutes long, and we'd still see these three midfielders running around, making tackles, making passes, getting involved. I get incredibly excited when I see these three on the field: Mason Mount, Phil Foden, and Declan Rice. Let me know if you agree with my selection down in the comments below. We then move into a front three, and again, apart from the centre forward position, who Harry Kane, it's absolute no-brainer, he'd probably get into any side in the world in that centre forwards position. The wingers, this is where it gets incredibly difficult again. You've got Raheem Sterling, who has always been a mainstay for England really for the past few years. But even though his form at City isn't bad, I just think for the England team, I would go for something a bit different. Raheem Sterling would obviously be on the bench, but for my starting 11, I've gone with Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish. I've gone with Sancho I'll be completely honest with you, and I don't mind because this is my opinion. I've gone with Sancho because I personally really rate him as a footballer. And I would say maybe in terms of delivery, particularly for England, Sterling would still be ahead of Sancho right now. It's lined up on the graphic with Grealish on the right, Sancho on the left, but in reality, Grealish should be on the left, Sancho would be on the right. If Jack Grealish can get fit between now and the end of the season, I think he's a match winner for England. I seriously think that his mentality and the way that he conducts himself on the pitch is what England need. They need someone who's got a little bit of aggression, who's got that grit to really dig in and carry the team forwards. At Aston Villa, it's incredibly obvious because in terms of the level, Grealish is a level above the majority of the Aston Villa squad. No discredit to them, but he really is. But for England, with players like Mason Mount, Phil Foden feeding him from behind, with Harry Kane in the box, I feel as though Grealish could just completely elevate this England team with the natural ability that he has, surround that by quality top players. And I think Grealish could be potentially the man of the tournament for England. I think he's that good. That is my starting 11. You guys can see it up on the screen now. The subs bench, again, plethora of players we could have chosen, but those are the ones I've gone with right now based off of form and who I think could come into this side based off of the formation that you can see on the screen. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I want to say a massive thank you to all of you that have shown love and support here on GBFC 2 in the last week or so. The channel is well and truly back up and running now, and the second episode of this series will go out on Tuesday once we've seen the Premier League games for the weekend. So, if there is somebody that you really want to see me talk about in episode 2, let me know why and who it is in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to address it in episode 2, where we start to really break it down individual by individual, comparing different players in different positions. I will see you in that video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you all next time. Come on, England.